This is D Brown, the Begotten Son, and today we're going to dive within the sound wave of grit.
Grit, 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 grit. Oh, D Brown, Begotten Son.
Now, just to start off this track, I'm going to break down the sound with that 808 that opens up. That right there, I was actually making another track when I came about this 808, and I'm trying to find a nice pattern to go with the track that I'm making, and then all of a sudden that pattern comes, but the sound of that 808, I would say the fairiness of it, the fuzziness of it, I would say, just gave me that feeling, and I found that pattern in it. And that's just like, oh man, I felt it. And most of the time, as producers or music makers, you know, you just know when you got something. You know when you feel something, it's like, it just clicks. Everything just comes right in line in that one split second. And that's what happened with that, where it was just like I was making another track, and then I heard that, and then it was like, oh, that feels right. And I actually had to just save the track that I was working on and dump it, and then open up a new session and actually put that pattern down. And that's how I formed the beat around that 808 right there, because it just felt so good. It was like it was calling me, you know. So let's go into the lyrics though.
Take another way, man, they won't like that. What makes you take a bruise and you wanna fight back? To get it on your own, it's gonna take some time, but keeps a nigga going, man, every time. It's that grit.
I have the hook going, and it's basically, you know, take another way, they won't like that. Once again, you go on a different path than what the beaten path is. If you go a different path, a lot of people are scared to go down that path, so they really dislike the person that actually goes and veers off and do something differently than what the status quo is. So to go that way and to build it on your own, it's going to take some time, because people gotta become acclimated to who you are and what you're doing, and the whole risk taking that you're doing, bringing something new, doing something new, you know. So because of that, you have to go through a lot of people telling you no. You're gonna have to go through a lot of people who just don't get it and just don't understand it, and kind of have some type of aversion to it, because it's like it's something new. People don't like anything outside of the norm, so that's going to take some time to get through that. And then you're going to have to get them around to your side. So all that takes time, you know, before you can actually get around to the other side, where people start accepting what you're doing and then loving it. But the only way you get to the other side is that grit. So that's why at the end of that you hear grit, 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 because it's that call of you gotta have that grit.
Feeling the pressure, can't fall in the grips of depression. Got a confession, moment of usher when I'm being tested. Ushering in the moment of sin when you start second guessing. It's just the whim, or able to swim, or is this the wrong profession?
All this right here, I was really putting out what I was really feeling, you know, where it was just like a moment of confession, what I was saying about, you know, with Usher having a song Confessions, bringing that in. But overall, it was just being truthful about, I'm having this moment right now, or being truthful about the feelings of when you're doing stuff like this, and you're trying to push forward, and it's like, you know, you start second guessing yourself. You start feeling like nothing's working or nothing's happening. You start feeling like nothing is going your way. So it's like, why am I doing what I'm doing? You know, so though at those times when you feel that, that's when it gets really difficult. Those are the times when you really got to dig in or come back to your purpose, come back to your why, and remember what you're doing this for, you know, and really just reevaluate and look and see, is this something that am I still on a good path with this? Is this something that's still viable? You know, whatever you're building and working towards, it's like, is it still viable? If it is still viable, then continue to move forward. But you know, this opening for this whole first verse, you know, the first 8 bars of this first verse is really just me feeling like, let me get out my frustrations on this, because I remember sitting at the mic and I'm just like, what I feel like rapping about on this song this week, you know, and I was just like, well, let me just, what am I feeling? And that's what I was feeling. So I was like, let me put that down.
The sea of life, it's hard to tell if I'm in the wrong direction, or am I drifted to the parts of the waters that shark infested. In my psyche at this moment, should I just make a concession? And then I find an energy, somehow no time for resting.
And so on that second half of the 8 bars, you know, where it's like, am I just drifting, you know, we're out into the waters, am I going the right way? Especially, it's like when you're in the sea of life, you know, and you're trying to move forward in the sea, you really don't have no really a real compass. You don't have a real GPS, I should say. Like, you have a compass of like, this is what you want to do. Maybe there's some steps that you do know that you can take, some obvious steps, obvious actions that you can take, so you do that. But overall, at this whole sea, it's like, I don't know if I'm heading in the right direction or not. Am I going to hit land, or am I heading towards a place that's shark infested? And if it's shark infested, then that means I done worked so hard just to end up at a place, at a path that's a dead end, or that's just death right there. Like, it just did not work out, you know. So that's the scariest thing about the sea of life, you know, where you don't know what you're doing today is something that's going to take you to where you want to be. And you don't know if you're just really heading down the right or wrong path. But at the end of the day, it's like that's where you have to have that faith. Only faith is going to get you through the sea of life and get you to the right destination. Only faith, you know. So with that, that's why I move over to, I don't know if I should make a concession. But then as I reflect and I look at everything, and I be mindful of the pitfalls that I'm having in my own mind, that's where I find that energy. Somehow I find that energy to keep going. And then that's when the whole shift happens in this first verse, where you have that down moment, but to fall in line with grit. This is when the grit kicks in, when you're especially in your down moments. How gritty you are, this is how fast you can actually bounce back from down moments and actually stay in the fight.
Tell me what your grit like. The world swing on me, I'm coming back with hits, right? Like, put me in the game, coach, I'm off the bench. Like a bench hitter, no, I'm swinging for the fence, right?
Got that grit in you. Now you like, no, I'm not going to stay down. No, I'm not going to worry about if I'm going towards the sharks. I'm going to the land. I'm only searching for the land. Tell me what your grit like. Because if the world swing on me, because the world is always putting pressure on you to move forward, really. But a lot of us take it as it's like a fight, or as it's trying to hurt us. So if the world swing on you, you take a bruise, a bump in this place, then you swing back. You swinging for like with the hit. I'm coming back with hits, and in this case, that was like a nice quick little line to say in my case about the music. I'm coming back with hits with this. Like, I'm hitting back with a lot of hits with this music. So,
how can you stop a pack of wolves when they stay hungry? Strategize and come back till we got the trophy. Coming straight for niggas' necks if I'm being low-key. Keep the grit through the grind till a nigga filthy.
No matter how many times you fall down, you know, that's where strategize and come back till we got the trophy. Okay, we lost this season. We lost this season. We lost this season. We keep coming back, strategizing, making sure our plan is better next time, making sure our goals are more defined, making sure our action lines up more with what we want, the putting in the work, making sure that the work on the back end is right before we get to the next season. And every time we keep on doing it until it's right, and then when we come back and it's right, when we come back and everything is lined up because we strategize correctly, then we come in for the trophy. So just think, if I'm being fully out there, what am I actually thinking? Like, all you're seeing is, oh, he coming for somebody's neck, you know, and that's just me being low-key. But really being all out there in the open, yelling it out there, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm coming for that, but that's just something that's passing. What I really want is the legacy. What I really want is to actually build something different. What I really want is a spot in that place of legacy, you know, that feeling that you have when you know you accomplished something big. That thing, I really want to just change a lot of stuff, creativity wise, just amplify creativity to the world. That's what I'm really going for. So that's when I'm really just boasting it out there, like this is what it is.
When it falls all on you, that's a load to bear. But I ain't a load-bearing wall, I'm just human here. Human flesh, human fears, I hate these human stares. Cynics to break your spirits, can't we just be human here?
So that, starting off the second verse, it's like when it falls all on you. When everything is on you, when you take 100% responsibility, that's a load to bear. But at the same time, it's pretty freeing because you know it's all on you. But having that load to bear, just knowing that it's all on you, that's why I put in there, but I'm not a load-bearing wall. I'm just human. You know, I got human flesh, human fears. Like, we all have fears. And if somebody tell you that they don't have no fears at all, then they're lying. You know, so we're all human. We all have fears in some area of our life, you know, and knowing that, it's like a lot of people can't deal when they're building something or going for something, when they're reaching for something that's different. A lot of people can't deal with the cynics that's out there, or not even different, just reaching, period, putting themselves out there. It's a lot of cynics in the world that's going to try to down you for it. Really, it comes down to the compassion of it. Like, can you have compassion, understanding that we're all human? You know, can we just be human here? Because we all have these same fears. We all have a lot of the same problems, you know, but when somebody try to come and tear you down, they're only trying to tear you down because they have some problems of their own, but they don't want to face it. They'd rather tear you down because of whatever you're doing so they can make them feel good. But it's like, can we just be human here? And I move from that.
There's a dark side when it comes to mankind. I'm Mick Foley with the mask, becoming mankind. A lot of nails in my back, see, I ain't crying. A lot of barbed wire, amp me up, I'm live wire. Electro to the touch, don't make a nigga fryer.
There's a dark side when it comes to mankind. Like, all of us, we have, every last person, we have that darkness in us, you know, that can just take you over the top. Like, a lot of people probably haven't seen that dark side for themselves, you know. But when you look at mankind, just looking at mankind as a whole, you can see that we have a dark side when it comes to us. So I use that mankind and I take it over to the wrestler Mick Foley, and putting on the mask, becoming mankind. He was mankind, you know. And then a lot of nails in my back, see, I ain't crying. Just taking the pain, taking the whippings, taking all that comes along with knowing that everything is on your back. That's something that he would do in the ring. He would take. I put mankind in here. Let me break that one down. I put mankind in here because he would be able to take nails to his back. He would be able to take barbed wire and all that. And it was like, even though wrestling, like WWE and all that, it's you know, they have scripts of what they supposed to do. They have everything outlined. It still takes a strong person to be able to have to withstand some of the pain that you have to go through when doing these moves. But with mankind, at least when I used to see him, you know, growing up, I was just like, he really puts himself out there. Like, he really goes in and take the worst beatings, you know, don't mind bleeding every fight. That's what it's like. He just took the worst beating. So even within that, for mankind in WWE, he had some grit to him to come in the ring and just have it. Okay, I'm fighting today, I'm fighting this week and whatever, and this is what it's gonna be. And he was like, okay, I'll take the chair. I'll take the chair to the head, keep on hitting me until I start bleeding. You know, knock me off the cage, all that stuff. Like, that took grit, even in that aspect, that he knew it was going to be pain, and he was able to take that pain and just keep on moving forward in his career, a long-spanning career. You know, so I put mankind in here because it's like, that really shows grit. He really shows grit, embodies grit. You know, so a lot of nails in my back, see, I ain't crying. A lot of barbed wire, just like what happened with mankind and all that. But that just amps me up and charge me up, and that barbed wire turns into live wire. So it's electro to the touch. So now if you try to touch me when I'm amped up like that, now you're getting shot.
This ain't no type of math, this ain't trig, right? Your grind is on a half or you live right. quit or you stay at it.
This ain't no type of math. This ain't trig. This ain't trigonometry. This ain't trigonometry right here. This ain't no type of math. It's really black or white when it comes to doing whatever you're doing. You either quit or you stay at it. Your grind is on a half, is leaning, or you get right. So it's really not that complicated as in a math problem, a hard math problem or anything like that. It's really black and white, cut and dry. When things happen, when setbacks happen, are you going to stay in the fight? Do you have enough grit to stay in the fight? So that's what that is when it comes to the end of this verse right here, where it's like you either quit or you going to stay at it. Do you have enough grit in you to stay in the fight until you can get onto the other side? That's grit right there, and you can find that on any music streaming platform, you know, Apple Music, Spotify, or you can save the playlist #Begotten Sunday, and from there you can find all the music that I've been making weekly. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button, like Facebook, you know, and we're gonna keep on banging these joints out. So with that said, my name is D Brown, the Begotten Son, and I'm out.